Promises broken. Truth billed in full.
A system built on care or control.
Obamacare exposed, in theaters now.
They called it the Affordable Care Act. What a sick joke. New evidence just exposed the most massive government fraud in American history. $27 billion vanishing every single year. Millions of fake recipients. And the architect who designed it, he's on tape laughing about how they fooled you. Wait till you hear what he really said. You see, your healthcare premiums didn't triple by accident. This was designed theft at an industrial scale. 6.4 million people are fraudulently collecting subsidies right now. 800,000 illegal aliens with fake social security numbers are stealing benefits meant for citizens. And you're paying for all of it. Every paycheck, every tax return, every medical bill that bankrupts another American family, it all feeds this monster. The numbers are staggering. 62% of subsidy recipients don't even qualify. Now, that's not incompetence, that's organized crime. And while insurance executives buy their third yacht, cancer patients, they have to choose between medicine and food. This is not about money. This is about a government that views you as a cash machine for their donors. And speaking of taking control of your health without breaking the bank, clinical trials show collagen peptides deliver real results. Women taking 2.5 grams daily saw 25% reduction in eye wrinkles and 29% boost in skin hydration. That's actual healthcare that works. BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen gives you 5 premium collagen types for skin, joints, and bones. No insurance scams required. I've seen the difference myself. Smoother skin, better joint health, real results. While Obamacare bleeds you dry, BioTrust offers 51% off at healthwithgary.com, plus free VIP coaching, a free skin health ebook, and a 60-day guarantee. Real health solutions at healthwithgary.com. Take back control. Now here's the smoking gun they buried for years. MIT economist Jonathan Gruber, Obamacare's mastermind, got caught on camera admitting the whole thing was built on lies. He literally said lack of transparency was a huge political advantage and called American voters stupid. This wasn't healthcare reform. It was wealth redistribution through deception. Even CNN's Anna Navarro accidentally exposed the scam when she complained about 300% premium hikes. Scott Jennings instantly burning her. It's called the Affordable Care Act, and it wasn't. Game over. So here he is. This is the guy. The man who designed Obamacare. Jonathan Gruber, MIT economist, openly admitting the entire Affordable Care Act built on lies, bragging about lack of transparency. His own words. Listen.
Really cannot do it. Okay, transparent financing, unless I have transparent financing, also transparent spending. I mean, this bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies. Okay, so it's written to do that. In terms of risk-rated subsidies, if you had a law which said healthy people are going to pay in, it made explicit that healthy people pay in and sick people get money, it would not have passed. Okay, just like lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And, it's the second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right. We can make it all transparent. But I'd rather have this law than not. So it's kind of like his reporter story. There's things I wish I could change, but I'd rather have this law than not.
So first of all, you haven't publicly commented on this so far. Do you stand by the comments in that video?
The comment in the video were made at an academic conference. I was speaking off the cuff.
And another Massachusetts hero, John Kerry, or more likely staff, came up with a great substitute idea. They said, look, what you economics nerds want to do is you want to say that for people with expensive health insurance plans, they will no longer get a 40% tax break. What if we instead just levied a 40% tax on the insurance companies that sell these terrible expensive Cadillac plans? We said, well, that's pretty much the same thing. So why does it matter? I said, you'll see. And they were posted and that passed. Because American voters are too stupid to understand the difference. So basically,
I was speaking off the cuff, and
until the second Massachusetts hero arose, John Kerry. And John Kerry said, no, we're going to tax your health insurance. We're going to tax those evil insurance companies. We're going to impose a tax that if they sell health insurance that's too expensive, we're going to tax them. And conveniently, the tax rate will happen to be the marginal tax rate under the income tax code. So basically, it's the same thing. We just tax the insurance companies. They pass it on higher prices. That offsets the tax break we get. It ends up being the same thing. It's a very clever, basic exploitation of the lack of economic understanding of the American voter.
Oh, okay. I was speeding off.
Politically, you just literally cannot do it.
And so I'm getting confronted. Oh, I was just speaking off the cuff. Yeah. On 3 different occasions, you admitted it. Mocking the American voter and manipulating the law. Holy cow. 24 hours ago, Scott Jennings writes, the one thing this government shutdown has exposed is the complete and utter failure of Obamacare. This disaster, which is basically one big money laundering scheme, was unleashed on America by who? The Democrats. Listen.
Realizing, and I'll tell you one thing this has exposed, though, the complete and total failure of Obamacare. I mean, it's not affordable. No, people that have it don't feel like it even is real insurance. And now we see, I mean, it's a mess. And if anytime the government's having to subsidize something like this, it's not working in the first place. And so I think the American people are realizing just how messed up the American healthcare system is. And the regime under which we live is Obamacare. But look, I think a lot of Republicans do not want people to see skyrocketing premiums. And so we'll see what that debate looks like. This whole thing has exposed this outlandish money laundering scheme where your tax dollars go right into insurance companies and your health insurance never gets better. Your health care never gets better. Your health outcomes never get better. That's what we have exposed here. So what our responsibility is as a Republican Party, how do we stop getting your tax money to insurance companies? And how do we put more actual money into the health care of the American people? Because I can assure you, writing a bunch of checks to insurance companies doesn't make your health care any better. But I'll tell you one.
The Obamacare scam is unraveling at a rapid pace. Lindsey Graham, 9 hours ago, big insurance companies cash in on Obamacare signups, not quality of care. President Trump made it clear that gravy train is over. Lindsey Graham.
As consumers, insurance companies get paid for everybody they sign up. They've had hundreds of thousands of people that have never made a claim. So insurance companies get more money when they sign people up. They could care less about quality. It was said to save us money as consumers. It's over doubled in terms of premiums. And insurance companies, the largest 7 in the country, have had their stock prices since 2010 go up between 500 and 1,000%. Donald Trump said Saturday, that gravy train is over. I'm going to take this money and give it to the consumer so they can buy better health care and take it away from the insurance company. We're going to win that fight in December. Insurance companies.
Buckle up, folks. You know what's coming next, right? Trump care. They are going to destroy and gut Obamacare, and you are going to have Trump care. He's already starting with Trump RX, right? That's just this getting the foot in the door. 9 hours ago, Wall Street apes. New report on the Barack Obama Affordable Care Act shows 6.4 million people fraudulently receiving Obamacare subsidies. 62% of Obamacare subsidy recipients don't qualify. $27 billion a year in fraud from Obamacare. Here is Carolyn Piffin with the report.
People are fraudulently. Looks like the fraud just continues to ramp up everywhere we turn. The administration just announced that 6 states have been stealing federal tax dollars in order to illegally give health care to illegal aliens. Over $1 billion stolen in just the past few months in 6 states. Individuals aren't doing much better. According to a recent report, 6.4 million people are fraudulently receiving Obamacare subsidies from you and me. 62% of Obamacare subsidy recipients don't even qualify. That lie is costing all of us over $27 billion a year, all while our insurance premiums just keep escalating. I'm over $30,000 a year now with a $10,000 deductible. Insurance companies don't care because they just keep getting richer and richer.
I hate insurance companies with a passion. Dr. Roger Marshall. He is husband, father, grandfather, doctor, U.S. Senator for Kansas. On the Senate floor, stating that up to 40% of Obamacare enrollees never file a claim. That's billions in taxpayer dollars flowing to insurance companies for people who don't even use the system.
I want to turn to talk about fraud just a little bit more. Get this, 35 to 40% of Obamacare recipients that are enrolled in Obamacare never file a claim. Let me say that again. There's 24 million people on Obamacare. 40% of those people never file a claim. These are ghost people. They don't even know they're on Obamacare. They've been falsely enrolled in Obamacare. Now, some people would say, "Oh, but there's always some people that don't file a claim." It's usually more like 10%. More like 10% of people in a pool of insurance products are not filing the claim. In this case, it's 35 to 40%. And overall, I think we could say that this group of people in Obamacare is a high-risk group. Big cities like Chicago have pushed people that took early retirement and pushed them onto Obamacare. These are typically sick people that have been pushed off other plans and they went towards Obamacare. And trust me, I want to address that. That's why we need a high-risk pool that would address those types of folks as well. But the point here is that some 10 million people on Obamacare are not using it, but the federal government is getting the entire premium paid. The insurance companies are getting the entire premium paid by the federal government. So 10 million people, a premium every month. It's like a slot machine going to big insurance companies.
You are just paying in to a slot machine that never pays out. Oh, I think Trump Care is going to be awesome. Obamacare was bankrupting Americans' free bird rights. Obama, insurance companies, and the Democrats were using it to run the biggest money laundering scheme in a long time. I can't wait to see all of you in Gitmo. That's what Freebird writes. Don't ever forget, it was the Democrats and Obama that orchestrated Obamacare and made billions of dollars of profit for the health insurance companies. Obamacare was a lie, and now Americans are facing the consequences. And instead of taking responsibility, Democrats have shut down the government, demand Republicans fix the mess they created. Oh, here is, let's see, let's take a flashback moment.
It will actually reduce the deficit by $4 trillion over the long term. Reducing the waste and inefficiency in Medicare and Medicaid will pay for most of this plan. It will slow the growth of healthcare costs for our families, our businesses, and our government. There will be a provision in this plan that requires us to come forward with more spending cuts if the savings we promised don't materialize.
All lies. That's all we hear from these people. Straight up lies. Ana Navarro getting nuked by Scott Jennings on Obamacare on CNN.
Going to hear horrible stories. People are not going to be able to afford their insurance. I don't think even with subsidies they're going to be able to afford the premiums that are hiking up 100, 200, 300%.
Wasn't Obamacare supposed to fix that?
When people, not without the universal. I mean, there's
Affordable Care Act. Affordable was the first word.
The Republicans have been chipping away at the ACA, and I think this is going to be the death of the ACA. But it's also going to be the death of some Americans who don't go get screenings, who don't get diagnosed early enough in order to get treatment, who go in and instead of being stage 1 cancer are going to be stage 4 cancer. And we're going to hear horrible stories because Americans are going to choose to drop health insurance that they cannot afford. And we as a country have got to figure this issue out. I'm going to hear horrible stories.
Ana Navarro on CNN. Here is the skiff. 24 hours ago, the Obama administration was making so many unauthorized payments to private insurance companies participating in Obamacare, they couldn't even keep up to cover their own tracks. A government watchdog has determined the Obama administration violating its own health care law by illegally diverting up to $5 billion to private insurance companies participating in Obamacare. The U.S. Government Accountability Office is the nonpartisan federal watchdog that determines whether federal officials are spending taxpayer dollars in accordance with the law. In a legal opinion issued last week, the GAO accused the Obama administration of illegally diverting billions of taxpayer dollars to private insurance companies. The opinion concerned the administration's implementation of Obamacare's reinsurance program, one of several insurer bailouts designed to prop up Obamacare's rickety finances. Generally speaking, the reinsurance program taxes consumers in non-Obamacare plans to subsidize insurance who sell Obamacare plans. The program collects $25 billion from consumers, with $20 billion going to Obamacare participating insurers and $5 billion to the federal treasury. The law is specific. The amount that each health insurer pays towards the $5 billion designated for U.S. Treasury may not be used for the reinsurance program, but once insurance companies participating in Obamacare exchanges started suffering huge losses and heading for the exit, the administration began funneling them the money that was supposed to go to the Treasury. The administration has so far diverted $3 billion and counting. That is the latest on what happened to all the Obamacare money. That was published just 24 hours ago by The Skiff. Wall Street Apes, an American doctor of 40 years, explains how Barack Obama allowed insurance companies to steal unlimited amounts of money from taxpayers with the Affordable Care Act. Buckle up.
An insurance company, why do our health insurance costs go up every year? Can't we get 1 year where it's steady or God forbid they go down? And the reason for that is it was designed that way. There's something called in the Affordable Care Act called the medical loss ratio. The medical loss ratio means that insurance companies must spend between 80 to 85% of all premium dollars on medical services. That means they're limited to 15 to 20% for administrative overhead and profit. So that means that they play a little game. The higher the top line is, the bigger that number is. So now all we did was say, let's charge more each year. If you look each year, the insurance companies' revenues go up every year. The second thing they did to get around that was they started vertically integrating. What's vertical integration? That's when you start buying companies that are not insurance companies, but in similar businesses. So they started buying pharmacy benefit managers, which are middlemen for the drug companies. They started buying pharmacies. They started buying physician services and physician groups. So why is that important? Well, think about this. I'm the insurance company. I want to make it look on paper like I'm making my medical loss ratio, because if I don't, I'm going to have to pay a rebate. So what I do is I have my physician over here who's owned, and I overpay him, but he's owned. So when I overpay him, all I'm doing is I'm showing I have an expense here, but it goes back in my other pocket. Same thing for drugs. I can take a $50 drug, I can pay $200 for it. Now I've just gotten around the medical loss ratio because somehow the government can't figure out how to trace that dollar beyond the insurance. So that's how they get around it, and this is why our insurance premiums go up every year, and they're going to keep going up until we change the system. What are our health insurance costs go up every?
Change the system. Trump care coming soon, right? So a government watchdog just confirmed what we've suspected all along. The Obama administration was making so many unauthorized payments to insurance companies they couldn't even track the money. One doctor who saw 40 years experience laid it bare the system was designed for insurance companies to steal unlimited taxpayer funds. And that's why the premiums always go up, because they're supposed to. But the gravy train is over. 15 years of legalized theft. It all ends right now. This wasn't healthcare. It was highway robbery wearing a lab coat. Democrats built a money pipeline from your wallet to insurance companies' vaults and called it compassion. MIT's own architect admitted they relied on your stupidity to pull it off. Well, America just woke up, and way too late. President Trump, he is getting ready to dismantle this criminal enterprise piece by piece. No more subsidies for people who don't qualify. No more fake Social Security numbers gaming the system. No more backdoor billions to corporate cronies. The swamp fought to protect their cash flow, but the slaughterhouse just opened for business. So here's my question for the comments. Should everybody who illegally received Obamacare subsidies be forced to pay it back? Yes or no? And would you like to see Trump care coming soon? Sound off below. The fraud stops here. The reckoning begins now. Get your next news gear at the link in the description and show them we are done being played for fools.